Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started here. Thank you, folks, for joining us. I'm Matt Sabala, one of the annuity sales directors here at IMES, but I'm not who's important today. We've got Andre from SILAC, one of the national VP of sales over there, and then we have Leah Glowacki-Bishop, who's going to be talking to us about the Teton 5 and the Teton 5 bonus with SILAC. I think, to be quite honest, one of the underutilized products in the industry, offers great growth potential and gives your clients liquidity and some features that some of the similar products with the competition really don't provide. So excited to talk to you guys about that today. I'm going to go through our quick IMES commercial on the front end very quickly, and then I'm going to hand it off to Leah and Andre to talk about SILAC and their portfolio, specifically the Teton 5. But as many of you guys know, or maybe if you're new to IMES, you don't know, but we've been in business for 38 years now. There's not a lot of IMOs that can say that. And one of the reasons we've been so successful over that time is we have a foundation of service for our advisors and their clients. And everybody tells you that service is important, but we really do embody that here at IMES, like I know SILAC does. They're great with their producers. We see you guys as our clients, and whenever you call in to IMES, you're always going to get a live person. We never, ever put you through to a voicemail. In fact, we just bought a $100,000 phone system not too long ago, and we disabled voicemail and some of the automation features on that phone system because we don't want you guys waiting to get the help you need. So big deal for us is service. Another one of the reasons that people really like to work with us is our new producer builder, or new producer bonus program, as I call it. So I've been with IMES almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years and a couple of months here. And during those first couple of years, I've had many producers reach the threshold of $1 million of FIA business or similar life business during their first 6 months contracted with us. And we reinvest in producers in a big way. Whenever you hit one of these thresholds, we'll help you put on a seminar, put on 3 seminars. We'll get you on radio. We'll get you into some face-to-face preset appointments with federal employees. Whatever it is that you want to do, we almost certainly have a solution that is effective in that space. Or if you already have something that you are effective with, then we will just reinvest in what's already made you successful. The idea is we want to keep your sales funnel full in 2025 and beyond. And our new producer builders program is a great way to do that. And after your first 6 months contracted with us, we do continue to invest into a marketing budget for you. So that's something we realize is very important and always want to subsidize or just pay for outright for you. Just like you guys, the best new client is typically going to be from a referral. We have a number of people who have referred other agents to us because they see the value in what we do here at IMES. And whenever you send somebody to us and they get contracted, we're going to get you a $50 check. But the real money kicks in when they start writing. So if somebody who you referred to us here at IMES writes an FIA case, we're going to give you $200 for every $100,000 case that they write. You see the overrides there on other business, but we cut checks for tens and tens of thousands of dollars on a regular basis because people have referred other producers to us. So it's a great way to kind of build a downline without taking on the liability of an agency. So an excellent way to build a kind of an ancillary source of income for you is just to refer people to us here at IMES. We'll help them out the same way we do you. All right, back office support. So we do 3 things I would say really well. I've been around the block. I've been in the industry for a little over a decade now, and I can tell you, without exception, our back office support when it comes to annuities and life insurance is the tip of the spear in the industry. We have people who work specifically with SILAC. We have people who work specifically with some of the other carriers, but they understand what those carriers are looking for from a suitability perspective, from a procedural perspective, help you overcome obstacles before you run into them. And when something does come up, our team of people on the annuity and life side spend their time on the phone with the carrier or figuring out how to get an app processed rather than you having to spend all day doing that. So we want to keep you in front of people doing what you do best, which is meeting folks and writing business and building relationships. And our team of people, Michelle and her team on the life side, Mackenzie and her team on the annuity side, do the stuff that you don't want to do in a lot of cases, sitting on hold or figuring out, why a certain number needs to be in a certain place on an application. So we've got a great team of people who really understand the ins and outs of those processes. Our website is full of really good information, guys. If you've never had a walkthrough of our website, get with your annuity sales director like me, Matt Sabala, or your life sales director, and make sure that we're pointing out the critical resources there. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but we've got everything from annuity rate watch and life quoting tools to sales resource library that has thousands of pieces of information that you can access and white label to your own practice, to all sorts of information about the industry and sales resource tools like calculators and things like Retirement Analyzer. Some really good resources on our website, including e-app solutions. Guys, if you're not submitting business electronically, you should be. I don't care if you're 96 or 36. It's almost always easier to submit an application electronically than it is to do it on paper. Submitting via Firelight for annuities, as an example, will help you make fewer mistakes. It helps us see what you're working on at the time that you're working on it, so we can help you through that process and ensure that has the best chance of going through suitability and processing at the carrier level without any issues. And it allows us to easily just help you get that business from submission to commission. So if you need to learn how to access Firelight, iPipeline, and Luma is a newer tool with Himes that has paid huge benefits to people who have a past book of business. I'll get into that on another webinar, but basically we can see any business that you've written with the carrier previously and help you find opportunities for replacements and other opportunities. So that's another opportunity for your sales director to really assist you. If you don't know enough about any one of those items, let us know. They're just a click or two away on our website. Second thing I think we do really, really well, creative services. We do everything from business cards and stationery all the way up to getting you on the radio and Fox News if you really want to, and everything in between. From a branding perspective, you need that digital footprint this day and age. And from a marketing perspective, we'd love to sit down with you and discuss a custom plan based on your goals to help you meet and exceed your goals in 2025 and beyond. So if you've never had your sales director sit down with you with a member of our creative team and go through a customized marketing analysis, we don't charge for it. We just want to help you put a plan in place and make sure that you have a realistic expectation of what sort of marketing you need to implement in your practice to meet the numbers that you're really looking for. Our people on creative marketing, all they do is focus on financial services. So you can go down the street and pay $3 or $4 grand for somebody to build you a website and do some of these other things, or you can do it here at Imes, where we will do it for a quarter of the cost or no cost at all, because again, we reinvest in our producers. Things like a website, like business cards and things of that nature, a lot of times we can waive the cost of that because we just want you to write business. That's how we get paid. We do not get paid. It's not a profit center for us on our creative marketing. Imes Wealth Management, back in 2016, 2018, you guys saw, if you're in the industry, there was a lot of uncertainty about whether or not you can be able to continue to sell insurance products without a securities license. So we formed Imes Wealth Management to act as a fiduciary for our advisors that didn't already have their license. And it's really built since then. Fortunately, in 2016 and 2018, when that was on the table, didn't come to fruition. It was a big topic again last year in 2024. We were one of the IMOs that was really integral in getting a stay on some of the changes that the DOL was looking at implementing. And we're continuing to fight the good fight because we know that these products are right for the right clients. But our wealth management team is somebody who can assist you anytime you do need a fiduciary on a call to have a securities conversation, or if you've got a client who wants to leave money in a security, more of a growth bucket. You don't want to send them to the guy down the street. If you send them to Edward Jones, they're going to tell your client not to purchase an annuity. They don't know what they're talking about usually. But our wealth management team will assist you on a call so they don't have to go to another advisor to have a conversation about a product you can't help them with. And then on the insurance business, they're going to encourage it. We know it's the right fit in a lot of cases. And then if you ever do get your 65, and by the way, we can help you as a resource to that, then we'll flip that business back to you, any managed money over at IMS Wealth Management, so you can earn a commission on that. We've got almost 100 advisors now over at IMS Wealth Management. It's a great supplementary tool to your insurance business. In fact, if you do go forward and get your securities license with IMS Wealth Management, you'll notice your annuity production is going to pick up as well. Really adds to credibility and just the more comprehensive solutions you can provide. Third thing I think we do really, really well is our Life and Annuity Academy. We've got one coming up here at the start of April. Qualification and registration for that has wrapped up. If you are close to Des Moines, you might still be able to drive out there. We might be able to set you up in a chair at the back of the room, but that's full for the most part. But we are going to host 3 or 4 more of these throughout the year, and these are the tip of the spear, guys. I mean, we've got advisors at the apex of the industry that are sharing with you their best practices, sales processes to help you be successful and implement some of those same thoughts, ideas, strategies into your practice that have helped them become successful. So it's not making you them, but just stealing their ideas. I mean, that's generally speaking, that's how you do it in the industry, is you take what's working and you figure out how to make it your own. That's what these annuity academies are for. If you'd like to participate in our next annuity academy, we are looking at the end of May, the beginning of June for our next one, and we will make sure we keep you up to date, but please let us know if you'd like to come out, and we would love to have you. Everybody that I've ever had out to one of these life and annuity academies has had a great experience and has gone back to their practice with new ideas or strategies or marketing to implement, and I've seen an increase in production with every single person that I've ever had out there, I think, with that exception. So let us know if you want to go out. We'll try to get you out to the next one at the end of May, the beginning of June. All right, just about done here, folks. So we're big on incentive trips as well. Man, by the way, incentive trips, I hope you guys will talk about that. Andre, they really know how to do it over there at SILAC. But our trip here in Quebec this year is going to be a nice, relaxing time for our advisors as well, an opportunity to bump shoulders, or maybe it's bump elbows. I don't know, bump elbows, rub elbows. I don't know what it is. But a good opportunity to share ideas with other people who are successful in the industry like you. And it takes 5 million points to qualify. That's dollar for dollar FIA business. Life business usually counts around 10 to 1. Qualification wraps up June 30th, and we'll be doing that August 3rd through the 8th. But a great opportunity to kick back and also share some ideas with other people who are successful as you in the industry. Lastly, like and follow us on social media. For some of our advisors, I hear that this isn't important to them. I'm going to tell you that's the wrong approach, guys. It may not be important to you to have a social media presence, but it is important to a lot of your clients. A lot of the people that you want to interact with spend a good deal of time on social media, and you can automate all of that. So if you have somebody who, may think of you, may think of somebody else when they have a need, be the guy or the gal that gets in front of them on a regular basis with social media to ensure that when they do have a question, that they are reaching out to you. So with that, thank you guys. Get a hold of me, Matt S. at IMS Inc. If you have any questions, give me a call. But I'm going to hand it off to Leah to talk about the Teton 5.
Thank you, Leah.
Thank you very much. Wow, how exciting, the Chateau Frontenac. I was just there a year or so ago, and fabulous, fabulous place. So I am just going to, can everybody hopefully see my screen now? Can you see it? Just want to make sure. Okay, great. So my name again is Leah Glowacki Bishop, and I'm going to be doing this tag team presentation with Andre Thompson. I'm going to talk a little about the FIA, the environment, some stats around that, and Andre's really going to do a deeper dive into the product. So why are we all excited about FIAs? What is the big thing about FIAs? Well, let's step back and look a little about what are the risks that retirees face. Now, this product is an accumulation FIA. So it's accumulation, it's not for the income, it's a shorter term for accumulation. And so, you know, but this product is really for a target market of pre-retirees. So those people who are planning on retiring maybe in the next, you know, 3, 4, 5 years, so maybe they're 57, 58, all the way up to, you know, 62, 63, and those who are retiring, and so that's, you know, 62 to 67, and also for post-retirees. Those are the ones who are in their 70s. And you know what? Why do they still need a product like this? Is because we're going to get into it. But inflation, you know, the cost of living, everything, if they're going to live another 25, 30 years in retirement, they need money also growing on the sidelines. And to get money to grow, you need to have market exposure. You know, some CD rates, some money market rates have been pretty strong for the last few years, but really to keep pace with inflation, outpace inflation, you need to have market exposure. And that's why people like FIAs. But let's talk about some of the risks that retirees face today. There's a market risk. You know, the market's up and down. We all, you know, have seen that, especially the last, you know, couple days, couple weeks here. It's all over the place. Global health concerns. You know, we saw what happened, you know, with COVID. Who knows what if, when the next virus, something will come along and impact us, you know, how it really impacted the market, our lifestyles and everything. But they're also worried about the number one concern of elderly people or of seniors or anybody trying to plan for retirement is outliving their money. How do I retire and not outlive my money? That's the biggest concern for everybody. Also, we saw the risk of, or we've seen the risk of healthcare and the rising costs. Anybody in the med sup space that are doing med sup, med advantages, you know that Medicare Part B keeps on going up and up every year. And, you know, we just see what's happening with the rising costs of healthcare. Social Security and pension risk. You know, is our Social Security going to be the same as it is right now? You know, they're saying, what is it, the year 2032 or 33, that they might have to reduce and the benefits, and that's for people already taking Social Security. You may only be getting 70, 80% of what you're getting now. You know, pretty scary things out there that we have to address and potentially prepare for. Also, what we've seen is the risk of rising cost of goods and services, inflation. You know, we've seen that, you know, continue to increase, different sectors, different times. Sometimes it's gas prices, sometimes it's egg prices, but overall it keeps on increasing. And then, you know, the other risk, and a big risk, is the lifestyle risk. You know, most people when they retire, they don't want to get a lesser lifestyle. They want to maintain at least what they have, and sometimes even have a better lifestyle. You know, they worked hard all those years. They want to travel. They want to get that boat. They want to, you know, do something different. And so, you know, these are the things when you're sitting down with clients and talking to them about their, you know, financial situation, about retirement, about their future. These are the things that are going through their minds of all the risks that they're going to face, plus others. But why FIAs? We see the numbers here. When it started in 2022, you know, 11.7 billion, and now we're going to be, you know, in 2027 doing over 300 billion in sales. So if you aren't doing FIAs, if you're not in this marketplace, you should be. And for those of you who are in it, congratulations, because you're in the right marketplace. You know, as we've seen, you know, more and more, LIMRA is showing the numbers are just up and up and up. And one of the reasons LIMRA has said that, you know, FIAs, we're in the perfect environment for FIAs because of the market volatility, because of the interest rates, you know, up, down, where are they right now? They're a little stable, but they're probably going to go back down again. And that's what is all the uncertainty out there. But the also biggest thing is the demographic shift. The baby boomers continue to age. And as they continue to age, products and services and everything were developed for them throughout their lifetimes. The baby boomers were the largest generation ever born in North America. They were at birth larger than the millennials, larger than anyone. And, now they're in those retirees, post-retirees, 11,000 people are turning 65 every day. And those are still the baby boomers from 1964 all the way to 1946 to 1964. And those are the ones who are retiring, and that's your target market for these products. So, why FIAs again? Well, FIAs, some people are buying them for accumulation, some are buying them for income, but really everybody is buying these for protection. That's why they are buying FIAs, is for the protection. And what is an FIA, a fixed index annuity? It's a tax favored annuity, like, it comes under the annuity code. But the key about this, it is a principal protection. Your client's money, their principal will never erode. They will always get, if nothing else, back their principal. And it has that with growth opportunities. And with that tax favored growth, it's that triple your money plus compounding on the interest of your money and compounding on the money that you didn't pay taxes on. So it's triple compounding. It's the fastest way to accumulate money out there is through annuities. And with the fixed index annuity, you also get that downside market protection. So before we get into, a bit more of the details of this, I wanted to, go over some terms with you. Don't be worried about these terms. If you're not in FIAs, don't worry about the terms. If you are in FIAs, just bear with me while I go through these for people who aren't doing FIAs. There's two terms, participation rate and cap rate. When I started in the business, it's like, oh no, more things. How am I going to explain these? Very, very simple. Participation rate is how much your client will participate in the growth of the market. So in other words, if there was a participation rate of 50% and the index had returned 10%, so the index is where you're allocating your client's money, or they're allocating their money to what kind of investment strategy. So if you have a 50% participation rate and the index returned 10%, your clients would get 5%. So just look at this chart over here. You'll see that's the example in the first column here. The first year, if the market returned 20%, and you had a 50% participation rate, the clients would get 10%. Next year, you'll see it was just over 30%. And again, they would get, let's just say it's 30% for my math, they'd get 15%, and so on and so on. But look over here in the years where it's negative returns in the market, your clients aren't going to get those negative returns. They'll get zero. They're not going to participate in the downside. They'll only participate in the upside. Okay, so now let's take a look at the other term, cap rates. What does that mean? That means if the market goes up a certain amount, your clients could be capped. So at the amount. So look at this example over here on the right-hand side. If they had an 8% cap rate on the index that they were invested in, and say the first year they did 5%, well, your clients would get the full 5%. The next year, if it did 10%, but your clients had that cap at 8%, they'd only get 8%. And then again, in years that are down, they'll never participate in the down. They would get a 0% return. They'd never get a downside. So those are the only two terms you really have to know, is cap rate and par rate. And what I like about the Teton and Teton 5 bonus is they have growth, safety, and predictability all in one product. They have a fixed rate strategy, and Andre is going to share with you the great strong fixed rates in these products. They also have par rates and they have cap rates, all within the same product. So your clients have a lot of options and a lot of ways to allocate their money for potential growth. But let's take a look at the S&P for a minute here. Here's the S&P, and these are the true numbers between 1997 to, I've mixed up here. I've got to get back to my presentation. Why did this mess up? I apologize here. I can't see the screen. I did something. Can anyone, oh, there it is. Okay, sorry. As you'll see, the market went along and all of a sudden it went down, 2001, 2002. And you know what? It took about 10 years for anybody who had an account balance to get back to normal. Before 10 years were up, what happened again? 2008. And then about 10 years and look, down again, down again. You know, a lot of your clients, when they are in those pre-retirement, retirement, post-retirement years, can't stand that fluctuation, can't afford to have losses on their portfolio. They want to be in the market. They know the market will give them, you know, potentially better returns, but they're scared because they don't have the time to make up for some of these losses in the market. So let's take a look at this. I really love this chart. It's the same thing as showing the chart in a different way here. And it's, it's showing the chart in a different way. Now, this is the real returns, again, of the S&P from 1997 through to 2024. That is 26 years. So if they put in, your clients put in $100,000 into the market in 1997, and then here's an example of some par rates and cap rates. And it does not matter which column you choose here. I'm just going to choose the participation rate at 50% to show how this works. I love this chart. We actually have this in a client approved piece. It's slightly different, but we can get it to you. It doesn't mention product on it, doesn't mention company on it. It's very a generic piece. And I love this piece because to me, it's the best way to explain fixed index annuities to your clients. So let's take a look. 1997, put money in the market. The market was up 31%. If you're in a 50% par rate, what did you get? You got 15%, which is pretty good still return, Mr. and Mrs. Client, better than you're doing in CDs, money markets, anywhere else. Now, I want you to take a look at this returns of the S&P, the second column here. One thing to note is the black are the positive years, the red are the negative years. Of all of this, there was 1 year that was 0% return, but everything else, there were 5 years, and then the one that was 0, 5 years that were single digits, negative or positive. Everything else is double digit. Everything else is either up, you know, double digits or down double digits. You know, look at this, up 30%, up 26, up 19, then down 10, down 13, down 23. So the market does have these swings, and that's why people are scared. But why I like this piece again is because I think it's the best way to explain just what an FIA is for your client. So let's take a look at this. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Client, the market's going up, the market's going up, the market's going up. But look what happened when the market went down. Your account doesn't go down. Look at that. It's locked in. You never get a loss. So you only participate in the upside, but not the downside. So look at the market was down in 2020, 2021, 2022. And then what happens is, so you didn't lose, it goes back up again, and you go back up again. Look what happened if you're just in the S&P, you lost everything, and it takes a while to rebuild. So I love this chart. If you want, you know, this, contact Andre, contact myself, or contact IMS, we'll get it for you. And so again, so another thing, concept that I know you know, but your clients may not know. When does minus 30 plus 0 equal 43? When does this? Okay, so think about this. If you have $100,000, and this is what you need to make sure your clients understand, 100,000, and the market's down 30%, what happens? They only have 70,000 left in their portfolio. And they say, oh, it doesn't matter, the market will go back up 30%. Well, 30% up on 70,000 is only 21,000. That only brings your client to 91,000. That doesn't make them whole. They would need a 43% return to get them whole. Again, we have this piece and a generic non-product specific piece that we can get out another way to explain to your clients. So, you know, the whole thing is make zero your hero. So you can invest in the market, have market exposure, but you never will get the downside risk. Your principal is 100% protected all the time. So this screen is screwed up. That should say liquidity on the top, and I apologize for why it's out of alignment here. But my question to you before I turn this over to Andre is, are you still selling the same product you were 5 years ago? And I don't care whether you're doing, long-term care or life or annuities or, med subs, med advantage, whatever you're doing, you're probably not. And why is that? Because products keep changing, they keep evolving, they keep getting better for people. And so why are you locking your clients in to a longer term than they have to? So consider the 5-year term, the 5-year Teton. Your clients, if the product's working for them, they can keep it. But if it's not working for them, you have the ability to get them out after 5 years. Now that's a 5-year surrender charge. If they're liking it, they continue with it. Now, the other thing we have is the Teton 5 bonus. Now, why would people be doing bonus products? And why are you really doing bonus products? For the most part, bonus products have, lower caps and pars and sometimes fixed rates. But why do you do it is because a lot of clients sometimes are stuck in older contracts that you either sold them or other people sold them that just aren't performing anymore. And they might have surrender charges on them because they might have been 10, 14 year, even longer charges. So by having the bonus, you can then help offset any losses in their surrender charge. So, that's why you would be doing a bonus. But if you're doing the 5-year product for them, you know what? You'll be able to always be keeping them in the newest and the latest products as they come out, after that 5-year term. So consider that as you hear now Andre talk about the details of the Teton and Teton 5 bonus products.
Thanks, Leah. Good morning, everyone. Appreciate the opportunity. I will quickly go through our FIA option with our Teton. As Leah's indicated, Teton 5 is going to provide you a lot of flexibility in a short-term duration, so we market it as a short-term rate alternative. Here are some of those features on our 5-year FIA. You can see that you can get a cumulative withdrawal between 20 to 40% depending on which features that you choose. We have bonus and non-bonus options. You can go all the way up to age 90. And the key thing here is that we are giving you a 9% bonus on a 5-year FIA. So if you've never used our platform before, please leverage IMES, Sabris, or myself to find out details on that product. And you can see the street comp is 6.75%. So a very strong story on a 5-year FIA option. Now here's some of the basics of our platform. All of our products basically hit this metric, but specific to the Teton 5 and the Teton bonus 5, you can see we can issue all the way up to somebody that's as young as a day old, all the way up to age 90. Minimum premium is $10,000. I can tell you that if you have clients that are on the fence, maybe they have $8,500, we can make exceptions. Just please reach out to me or IMES, and we can definitely see if we can get it approved for less than $10,000. We do allow additional premium that is commissionable up for the first 12 months. You can see here that additional premium, the minimum is $2,000, but we can take as high as premiums of $1 million plus. Any amount $1 million plus, we're going to have you complete our large case premium form, and we'll vet that, but you're able to do that. So I just don't want to think that you're capped by some of these numbers here. And the main thing, again, related to our bonus is you can see depending on what you're looking for between age up to age 81, you get a 7% bonus on our base model. And then for 85 plus, you can see that's 4.5%. So this is basically our rate sheet. I won't bore you with the details, but as Leah indicated, we have some strong fixed rates here. So on our non-bonus option, you're getting 4.25 fixed, caps as high as 8.25, and then some of those participation rates between 50 to 70%, depending on if you're using the S&P 500 or some of our volatility indexes. And then at the very bottom is our vol indexes with the boost strategy. And what that boost is, if you're not familiar, is essentially an interest credit. So I like to market it as an interest credit with the hedge. So if you have situations to where the index is flat, but you use that boost strategy, in this instance, if you did our NASDAQ Gen 5, you get a 3.5% interest credit to the client's account. Now on the right-hand column, that's our bonus numbers. You can see those are a little bit lower, but as Leah indicated, if you have clients with policies in old contracts, maybe surrender charges apply, maybe they took a hit in their retirement account recently, as we all know, those 401ks have definitely dropped a little bit in the last couple of days, then this might be an opportunity to leverage our bonus options between, like I said, age 80 to 90, or excuse me, from 1 to up to age 90, depending on the age and the product that you're looking for. Now the Elevation Plus, this is our rider that you're able to add to Teton and Teton bonus. And here's a great slide that I like because I think it outlines everything that you have at your fingertips, leveraging SILAC and our FIA portfolio specific to Teton. So on that left-hand column, it's Teton and Teton bonus. That is our base policy. You can see here 5% free withdrawals. They can get cumulative up to 20%. And that's just our base model. Now, when you go to elevation, that again is the rider. That is a 50 basis point spread. That provides you 10% free withdrawals. That cumulative feature goes up now to 40 if they deferred their free withdrawal for that specific year. And you have a life event withdrawal option, which provides an additional 10% liquidity to the contract. So if the client deferred all the way up into the start of year 5, they could essentially have 50% free withdrawal cumulative if they had a life event withdrawal option, and I'll touch on what that is. And then the far right-hand column, and this is our #1 selling option within our Teton platform and in our FIA portfolio, is the Elevation Plus. You automatically get an additional 2% bonus because you chose Elevation Plus rider. You get 10% free withdrawals, the 40% cumulative, but we have a unique feature where there's a caregiver benefit, which applies to the owner and spouse. And when you think about qualified money, typically all those benefits, nursing home, home health care, are all tied to the owner of that qualified account. Now, with this caregiver benefit, you are now able to use it for the owner or spouse, whoever is in need. So it provides flexibility, and that's really what we're promoting here is flexibility and options while the client's either trying to accumulate assets pre-retirement or when they're in retiring. And then you have that life event withdrawal option. So another liquidity feature on there. All that is available to you at 100 basis point spread. It's not a fee. It only applies for the term period of the contract. In this case, we're talking about our 5-year FIA, and it will never take your client's account value backwards.
Hey, Andre.
Yes.
Can you detail that caregiver benefit? How does that work exactly?
Yeah, so that caregiver benefit, it essentially is if they terminally ill, they need nursing home or home health care, whoever is in need, if you are a spouse or a partner, if you will, you're able to send in a form and then access the benefits of that caregiver. And this, it's a 1-year waiting period. As I indicated, it's an owner or spouse, but it applies to, again here, home health care, nursing home, and terminal illness. So it's a great feature. I think it's one of the unique options that we have on our platform. Now, this life event withdrawal option, as we know, people in California that had the wildfires, or when you were back east in North Carolina when they had the floods, I can tell you that we had clients that actually had to access this benefit to help them with either damages to their home or some type of medical need. These are all the features that you have here as far as what that life event withdrawal option provides. Again, a 1-year waiting period. It's a one-time additional 10% free withdrawal, but you can see if it's tied to home repair, medical expenses, college tuition, employment changes. Yes, that is correct. If the client's working, then all of a sudden they lose their job or something changes, you now have an option where you can tap into this contract and get an additional 10% free liquidity. And again, it's available on Elevation and Elevation Plus. We touched on the caregiver benefit. So this is a spread. Again, I indicated that it, depending on if you did Elevation, which is a 50 basis point spread, or Elevation Plus, which is 100 basis points, it's just an annual spread at the end of the year, so you don't have to worry about trying to calculate anything in that regard. It is principal protected, where it will never take your client's account value backwards, and it only applies to positive interest credit years. So the years where it's flat, the spread does not apply. And again, it will fall off after the surrender charge period. So these are just some of the highlights where you can see our rates. On the left-hand side is basically our stronger rates we call, where you have 4.25 fixed rate, the caps, the pars, the participation rates. The rates on the right are what we call our light states. You still get the same product features, but because it's a light state and we had to file it differently, you can see that the rates are a little bit lower. So that's essentially the difference between the two and why we're showing you that this particular slide. Now, the thing that we're most excited about is inherited IRAs, and we all know, as Leah talked about, the baby boomer generation, and I didn't even know that they had the most kids at the time, even from millennials, but now it makes sense because my mom and dad are there, multiple siblings, and I just have 2 brothers. So point being is that if you are in this space, you have clients that you know are going to be impacted by this, you're now going to have a solution with SILAC to leverage our 5-year FIA for those inherited IRA options. And as Lee indicated, most clients like to be able to not lock up their contracts or the money for a long period of time. That's why this 5-year FIA makes sense. Here are some of the rules. It's going to be available April 1st. We will definitely have a webinar and touch on some of the details of that, but just want to make you aware you are going to have an option within SILAC to leverage our 5-year FIA or our 7-year to handle those inherited IRA options. And then, as you can see, we're in 48 states. We're blue everywhere. And this is no political stance. It's just see that our contract colors. But long story short is you have options here. We have a microsite that basically gives you a lot of features, some of the product information that you have as far as features. You can definitely show some of this where it is client approved, but it is on our microsite, SILACINS.com, Teton 5, where you can get the brochures and everything like that. And then you're totally fine. And then this is the other thing. Not only are we basically trying to give you options for our 5-year FIA, but we're also trying to say thank you for the business. And we have our SILAC Inner Circle bonus program. So what does that provide? Additional compensation for you once you hit these particular metrics. 2.5 million is the benchmark, and you get a half a point, and that goes retro back to $1. Then, as you can see, every time that you hit a $2.5 billion benchmark, it increases by 50 basis points. So you can see it is capped at 2%, but the premium's not capped. So if you write 20 million, then you get 2% of that 20 million. And again, it goes reference back to $1, which is great. So not only do you get additional compensation, but you also get heightened concierge service. I can tell you the hold times for the Inner Circle program are 20 seconds. So that's basically 2 rings, and then you're right. So you get elevated within our system as another reason to promote our brand. And we definitely want to take care of the people that are doing business with us. Ember program, it's for all these agents that, or for all you that are writing 10 million plus. This is basically going to be an opportunity to be on our advisory board and basically rub shoulders with other like-minded advisors and agents that are writing that amount of premium. You'll definitely get to meet our CEO and our president of our company, CEO Steve Hilbert, Dan Akers, our president. We do a 1-year meeting, and then we do some quarterly calls. The whole point and the mission behind this Ember program is 1, heightened service, again, even above the Inner Circle program, but 2, being able to talk to you and brainstorm about what's going to be most impactful for you and your clients to help promote FIA sales and obviously give you solutions for your clients. And then finally, I want to highlight, we have another trip, as Matt indicated. We definitely enjoy our trips. We want to definitely make it top notch, white glove service here. So this is the promotion for our trip that's going to be happening in 2026. You can see we're going to Portugal and Spain. The qualifications are 5 million, and it started as of January 1 of this year, and it'll go all the way till 12/31 of 2025, and we basically take the top 60. So I can tell you this year we're going to Costa Rica, and that is already locked in, but this is going to be another great trip. And I can tell you every agent and advisor that has joined one of our trips, they basically just rave about them and say it's one of the top-notch events they've ever attended. So we look forward to having you join us and hear the qualifications, and hopefully with this 5-year FIA and inherited RAs will help you get you there. And then that was basically it. So I do thank you. I know it's a little bit longer than what we anticipated, but do appreciate the time. I want to thank Leah and Imes as the opportunity to get in front of you today.
Perfect. Thank you both. I don't see any questions from the group, but if anybody has them, we've got a couple of minutes, so throw them out there. If you would like to be contracted with SILAC, go ahead and let me know and get that contracting over to you. I can tell you, they're a fantastic group to work with anytime that we ever have any sort of issue with SILAC. I go to Andre, he helps me get it solved very, very quickly. And like you saw with their Elevation Plus rider, some really unique solutions, both in the 5-year space and then as an additional rider that you can add to pretty much all their products. Really strong in the legacy space too, wealth transfer. We didn't hit on that much today, but some really neat options there. All right, guys. No questions, Andre, Leah? Thank you both for your time, and we will see you guys on the next webinar. Really appreciate it.
All right,
thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
All right, take care, guys.